Hive number 2. So last time we were out here, we got the marks all on the hives, and so the bottom brood box are numbered just for our own references. And then we got the state registration marks on the side there with our brand. Oh yeah, that's what we should have put your practice brand. Heating the iron up. 4KB. Our registry number's on there. Our brand is on there. Got to meet the bee inspector when we set up the apiary, and so the state of Florida requires apiaries to all be registered. And the bee inspector comes out here, and what they're mainly looking for is American foul brood disease. And so that's a really bad disease that bees can spread from hive to hive. And American foul brood disease causes the brood to literally just rot inside the comb. And so the inspectors come and they check for American foul brood, and if your hive has it, then everything with that hive, the frames, everything, the hive equipment has to be destroyed. It's almost I believe it's a fungus.
It's a fungus.
Yeah, that infects them. And they have all kinds of problems. So in Florida, this is why they register the hives. You know, you get your licensed apiary. They register them, and once a year or so, once every 2 years, they come and inspect a percentage of your hives, looking for American foul.
Are a lot different than we had up north.
We didn't really have to worry about so many diseases with the honeybees in Alaska.
No, it seemed we were just too cold.
Yeah, there's no hive beetles up there. Any hive beetles you might have would have been ones that came up with the bees.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about additional hive beetles. We never seen a wax moth in Alaska.
No.
So you got different challenges down here in the south, here in Florida. Different things you got to look out for. You know, for example, in Alaska, your beehives were not registered. It was not required to be registered. But you also don't really have to worry about American foul brood disease in Alaska.
Well, and some of the registry had to do with urban hives and people doing it in more condensed populated areas. So on 40 acres, to come near my bees, you would have to be really inside to come get them. But if you are in a neighborhood, your beehive might be behind your fence.
Yeah, if you live in Miami and keep bees, it's going to be a lot different than if you keep bees here where we live on the middle of 40-acre homestead, because the bees aren't going to be right next to your neighbors, that's for sure.
No, and some people are so allergic to them, they wouldn't make it to a hospital. So there's just protections and guidances in place for everyone. The beekeepers and the people that don't feel comfortable with bees.
So you didn't see nothing going on in the super of this hive?
No.
You're down the brood box now. What's your first thoughts looking at the brood box?
Well, I killed a couple hive beetles over here, which number 2 never really had hive beetles, so we need to watch that since they seem to. There was one.
So they look like new hive beetles that you hadn't seen before.
They're bigger, so maybe they're just.
Yeah.
That was new, but yeah, time to make sure everyone's got their little claws in there. And this is our first full year with bees in Florida. So learning when these pests start, when they start doing stuff. Ooh, look at you ladies.
Yeah, first time we had a treat for varroa mites. Once again, it's not something we treat for in Alaska. The cold climate up there takes care of a lot of pests and other issues, a lot of diseases, because it just freezes it all out. And so in the winter time, nothing can spread. So that really cuts down on communication of that kind of animal disease. But you also can't have bees in the winter in Alaska. There's absolutely nothing for them to do in the winter. There's nothing for them to eat.
Yeah, so you gotta feed them all winter. If you can have them in a controlled environment, since it gets 40 and some below. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple warehouses in Fairbanks, Alaska, where you can actually take your bees and they will store them around 20 degrees, which is optimum for hibernating the colony until the next summer, when you can take the bees out of hibernation and get them back to work. And in Alaska, bees can go to work in the early spring when there's still a lot of snow on the ground. They'll start setting up and getting to work.
Mm-hmm. You also have to have a place for the bees to get out and use the bathroom, because they can get a it's called toxic shock, because their feces is inside with them. They'll die. It's a concern for keeping them. They gotta have a place to go to.
Yeah, when it warms up a little bit, they'll leave the hive or they'll leave the cluster and they'll go outside and make a little poop, drop the poop, and run back into the hive even when it's cold.
Just different concerns, different issues.
Yeah, down here in the south, we have to fight some diseases and some insects and stuff, but we don't have to fight the weather nearly as much. You know, we have hurricane issues, but that's a couple days versus 9 months of freezing cold from Alaska, where you couldn't do this kind of thing. Yeah, it's November in Fairbanks right now. It's 0 degrees, or maybe about 2 below when I check the weather app, and here it's 77 degrees, and our bees are still going strong.
Look at you, ladies. You're doing beautiful. This one's a little lighter. It's a whole cap.
I see that. Yeah, it's a little windy, and it's for here. It's a little chillier today. Oh, look at all the honey that got ripped just then. They're gonna be cleaning up that mess for a while.
Totally ticked. It's a real dark honey.
Yeah, must be the darker fall time honey, you think? Push that comb out too far.
Mm-hmm.
Are you cranky? That honey's gonna pour down out of the bottom of the hive here in a minute.
Yeah, but part of it. Here.
No, I hear him.
You're ticked.
Yeah, not bad out here at all, even with the sun shining. It's probably the coolest it's been in months.
Yeah.
Once again, if you're watching this from a snowy environment, well, sorry about that. But it's warm here.
We were there at one point.
Yeah, we moved a lot of snow. Moved a lot of snow from runways and driveways, but
Yep.
luckily, we don't have to move any snow here. You know, after the hurricane, you know, there is debris cleanup, there's picking up your stuff, but there's still just no snow to move.